In 2023, I'm proudly supporting the Parkinson's UK charity. If you'd like to support me in this amazing charity, you can either click on the link on the header image on a PC or click on the About Me section on a mobile phone. Your support is greatly appreciated. Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Well done, Lou. And I feel sorry for Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, I'm sure you tried to type MIB and you slipped on the B and hit the N, so it's MIN. So really, Sub-Zero, I think, got it first. But Lou, you got it. And then you and Jeff Fink are like fighting it out, how quick. But how can you get that from just a completely blurred image of, like, it could be some marbles or galaxies in it. It could, if you really squint, be something completely different. Hello, Christian from Grantham.
Let's give it up big time. Hello, Christian from Grantham. Now let's get cracking.
And also, because I said I'll give a shout out, the tattooed zoologist, your grandson, a big shout out to Noah. Hello, Noah. How's it going on this lovely Thursday evening? It's actually quite mild here in the UK today, so I'm enjoying myself out here. I've got a few things to go through tonight, which is quite interesting. I've actually created a list for myself, believe it or not, so I'm prepared tonight. So bear with me while I look down my list. The first thing is, if you ordered a workstation from Tyrell Models, from David there, they're starting to ship out now. I believe mine shipped out today. So hopefully I'm going to have a workstation to build next week, which means we'll be retiring this workstation here and building the new one, which should be good. I've had this for quite a while, actually, so that's pretty cool. It's not men in black, it's men in what? Bikinis. And yes, I do warn you now that there is a good chance that I'm going to be behind on chat. I always am. I have good intentions when I start, but I do guarantee I'll go for everything, even if I am 15 minutes behind. But that's the way of it. The second thing is, if you watched Tuesday's live stream, Tony Abramson, I think that was it. He was the person that won the Queen Anne's Revenge, the Blackbeard ship. He said it's actually far too big for where he's going to put it. So he was happy to me to redo the competition again and pick another winner. And William Wiscombe won. And we drawed that on Tuesday. Well, William has been in touch. And that ship is now winging its way off to William, who's in Scotland. He's up there in Scotland. That's my best Scottish voice. So that's good that that's got a home. And Steve Fothergill, you've confirmed your subscription today for the Rossi bike. So that's good as well. So I think from Christmas, every giveaway stuff and everything we've done has now been taken care of and everyone's happy. Everyone's got what they want. The only person now who's outstanding is Keith Morton. Keith, if you're watching, one of my Patreons, you won the Patreon draw today. So check your email, because we do a Patreon draw every month where you can win something from the merch store. And Keith Morton won today. Good day, Mark. How's it going? Right, what else? The Batman. There's a couple of trials out in the UK at the moment. So we've got the Batman figure, which is like the Iron Man figure, just Batman. And we've also got the U-boat. U96, is it? For Hachette Parkworks. Both trials. They're both in Caerphilly at the moment. And I think they're in Lanarkshire in Scotland as well. I don't know where else they are, but I've got Jeffrey, who, if you know Jeffrey from Caerphilly, he's the guy that won the Peugeot 205 a couple of years ago. Is it a couple of years ago now? He's actually sending me one, so I should have that next week, so I'll be able to show you what that looks like. It's basically the cow, I think, in the cowl, not the cow, the cowl, the cowl. Hi Faith, how's it going? My daughter's on here. Angel's Faith is my daughter. She's downloading things from Sims at the moment. So thank you for Jeffrey. If you're watching for that, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that. I don't know if I'm going to do the full run of the 4 trial issues. I want to do the first one because it's got the cowl, and I think the cowl will look good on the shelf if I don't use it. Paul Ryder, you sent me an email regarding the thrusters, and am I going to be doing the 3 other thruster lights? I didn't actually realise that there were 3 more lights at the bottom. I thought there was only 1. So what I was going to do is I was going to use the light from the Enterprise inside and just put a yellow acrylic over the back of it to light it up. But now I saw the location of them, I think I am probably going to keep the yellow SMD lights that I've been using. Now, the SMD lights are really good if you saw the Enterprise build today, but I think too many of them is going to be a little bit in your face. So, don't know. Don't know about that. I'm still thinking about that one. So, it's a work in progress. I don't know what I'm doing. Was the U-boat the U-96? I think it was the U-96. Can someone help me there? U-96 Hachette. Yeah, it's the U-96 U-boat submarine trial. But it is a trial at the moment, so I don't know if that's going to get a release. We'll have to see. So that's that one. Oops, where's my little agenda gone? Okay. Chris Hurst. It was Chris Hurst. Hello, Chris, in chat there. Fangdoc. I've just been covered in polystyrene balls because Chris said in pack 11 of the New York fire truck, which I'm doing on the channel tomorrow, there is a bit of wood, which looks just like this. Look, I've dug it out. See, and it's still covered in these fluid polystyrene balls. Well, Chris has got himself a CNC, and if you don't want your bit of wood, he would like it. So if you could, like, what I was going to do, Chris, was get people to email me, and then I'll just forward those emails to you, and you can arrange delivery and all of that with them. So if you email me to say that you have got this bit of wood, and you're happy for Chris Hurst to have this, and it's the Chris Hurst wood appeal, then I don't think this is needed, is it, on the build? I hope not. Then rather than chuck it out, then bung me an email and I'll send it off to Chris, and then Chris can have he could be inundated with MDF wood. So it'd be interesting to see what you make of them. To be honest with you, if you get enough of them, you can make quite an interesting thing. But you're welcome to mine, Chris. So I'll make sure that that's kept there nice and safe. That would be great. Well, everyone's going to get them if you get a pack 11 of the New York fire truck. It's at the bottom in the centre. I don't think you're going to need it. So rather than chuck it, then it's for the Chris Hurst wood charity. It'll be for Ian Campbell's next project, but that's a secret. Oh, bless. But there's my email. So just bung me an email. Just say, yeah, you're happy for Chris to have it, and then I'll forward that email on and Chris will get in touch with you. I think that's the best, Wayne. Wayne gave Chris wood. I give everyone wood, Lou. Have you seen the Last of Us, the season 3, on a completely unrelated subject? Okay. What else? I'm reading down my list here. Stand by. I think we're doing good. Will was going to stay. Paul Ryder, I wanted to tell you about the thrusters. Jeffrey for killing the workstation's coming next week. I'm done. I'm good. It's for his wood burner. No, he wants to use his CNC. The problem is with a CNC, Chris, just so you know, you've probably used yours anyway, but MDF, you don't want to be around when this, unless you've got like a cover over the top of it that can get rid of all of the dust on this. This isn't good for you. The MDF dust, it's not good at all. So, you know, just worried about you, man. Just worried about you. Don't want you hurting yourself. You need industrial respirators when you're working with that stuff. So, all cool. Everyone, how you doing? Anyway, received box 6, pack 10 of the Ford GT. And received my second car model. Well, MB Woods, well, you're just saying about that Ford GT. I've received the Ford GT today, and I've also received the penultimate pack, almost the last pack of the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. So in this pack, we put the car together, and then the next pack is the last one. Can you believe that? And the Dodge Charger's going to be finished. So that's good. You got a 4-inch station setup. Oh, did you say 4-inch suction setup? I thought you said section. I was going to say, you've got like a 4-inch little section setup. God, that must certainly suck, Chris. Oh, bless. But yeah, I got that today. And then the only thing I've got outstanding, I mean, tomorrow's video, just so you know, for the fire truck, everything goes together with magnets. And it's no building, it's just slotting things together. So it's going to be quite a quick video. So what I'll do is I'll build it, I'll get the fire truck down, and we'll have a look what that looks like in there as well. But that's how we're going to end the week, I think, this week. So that's good. So every time I mention about going up in expanding, Colin Furr's name comes up, as if I'm going to dig down. I would love to do that. I'd happily be one of those. I think the Australians in the Northern Territory in Alice Springs, they call them the troglodytes, don't they? And they live in the opal mines, and their houses are underground. I could happily live underground. I think I'm part Hobbit. So it's all cool. So things that have been making me laugh. I've got to tell you this because I was watching Wakanda Forever today because it's just appeared on Disney Plus today, and sometimes I do think that if the movie's not going to be any good, there's no point in making it at all. And I struggled. I really was going to turn it off. I didn't get to. I got to the bit. Actually, no spoilers. I was going to turn it off in the last 20 minutes, but I haven't seen the last 20 minutes of it. I just don't think they should have made the film. When Chadwick Boseman died, I think they should have respected his memory and just ended the Black Panther franchise. But I didn't like it at all. I didn't think it's a very good film. So that got me thinking about films that I will watch that, I can watch all the time. And the film in question that makes me laugh, and I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this, is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay? The funniest bit in Raiders of the Lost Ark for me is, hear me out here, okay? Right? Indiana Jones is looking for the medallion, which is hidden over there, yeah? And they find it so that they can use this in the map room. As you can see there, he's using it in the map room there to find the secret, get this, the secret location of the Well of Souls. Everyone's been digging for the Well of Souls. They can't find it anywhere. And it's been a mission for years and years and years to try and find the Well of Souls. No one can find the Well of Souls, okay? Then with that little amulet, it beams down to where it is, and then suddenly they find the Well of Souls. Something that's been missing for so long. How the snakes are still alive, I don't know. Perhaps they eat each other, I don't know. But, they've been undeterred for so long that there's a vacuum in the Well of Souls. It's so old. But the snakes are still alive. So we're beggared disbelief in that, and we'll go, but we found the Well of Souls. This is the bit that makes me laugh. They escape the Well of Souls by coming out of this little rock here in this building, which no one seems to have noticed at all, with the little guy sitting outside there. So this place that's been hidden for ages, that they've been digging in the sand, no one thought, let's have a look in this this little place here and see if what's inside it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And that's what makes me laugh, because that opens out into the airfield. So you're not telling me someone who was working on planes are going, wonder what that is. I froze again. Every time I switch between cameras, I freeze. And I don't know why. So I'll wait till I come back. Oh, I did drop some frames, so 140 frames as well. Yes, it was me. It was me this time. I'm sorry. But you loved Wakanda Forever. I just couldn't stand it. I just could not stand it at all. But saying that, Anthony, I can't get on with Avatar Way of Water either. I tried. Nah. It's not my cup of tea. It's in the script. Is that what? Yeah, you thought that too. It just doesn't make sense, does it, Svi? That you've got a massive airport built right next to the exit to the Well of Souls. There's not a lot of movies to do, Wayne. So hello, Todd. How's it going? So Raiders of the Lost Ark. Every time I watch that now, it does make me chuckle. And if you do watch that scene very closely, you see that little guy that was sitting out there. If you see a little cut scene of that where he's sort of going around, I should have queued it up. But actually, the guy sitting outside is actually like a camera hand. He's got a cap on him, one of them, and you can actually just see that. So another little Easter egg for you, if you like. Never did understand it. Yes, I heard about that on The Big Bang Theory. We could have left Indiana Jones out of the whole film, but it wouldn't have made a difference. Okay, and then the other thing that's most movies are what I call no-brainers, watch and do not think. Well, you know what? I've been watching it for ages, Pete, and I didn't even think about it until I'm like, why didn't anyone notice that place? Very straight. The funniest part is when he shoots the guy with the swords. I heard that he had dysentery or something, didn't he? So, Wakanda Forever was so messed up story-wise. I don't know what it was going. Talk about cheese. I can't talk about cheese, Faith. I can't spend the night talking about cheese. Okay, and then the other thing, which I thought was really, really good, that we talk about some of the things that we used to watch in our youth in the 80s. And do you remember these old cartoons? So they're going to come up, which were Around the World with Willy Fogg. These all had the really catchy, hey, now the story's just begun, now a lot of time ago. And then you had Mysterious Cities of Gold. And then the one that everyone knew was Ulysses 31. Ulysses. Okay. Has anyone seen on TikTok and stuff that someone created some fan art? They'd like to see Ulysses 31 turned into a live action, starring Chris Hemsworth. Check this out. What do you think of that? That could be a great movie, I'm telling you. A spaceship there. I think that would look brilliant as a film. Obviously, this is completely fictitious and doesn't exist, but I think it should. I think it's something that we all need to see. We need to see live actions of all of our cartoons from youth. Now, I know there's been an Around the World in 80 Days, but there hasn't been Around the World with 80 Days with dogs and cats. So, you know, I think that's something that's coming as well. You've only heard of the first one, Will's Workshop? Oh, my God. Please don't tell me I'm that old. Everyone knows that. I can probably add Battle of the Planets to that as well. G-Force. But, because everyone knows the God Phoenix, don't they? So that's kind of like that era. And Dogtanian and the Muskehounds. But I think at the moment, anything from that era would do really well. I even think that they should do a relaunch of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that would do well as well. So, you remember the series? You remember Fun Factory? I was looking, Marcus, the other day for the original Sky first launch test card. And the reason for that is Sky launched in 1986 with your Sky Channel, your Sky News, but it had launched prior to that as just Sky Channel in 1984. And before it went live, they played this brilliant bit of music, and I've been trying to find it for ages. So much so I've been on Shazam trying to hum it, and I'm not going to do it now. But I can't find this bit of music. But I remember that was the whole pattern before Sky went live. And this was when Sky was doing their tagline, Sky Channel and we're reaching out to you. But all you Americans are probably like, what the hell is Sky? Sky's just like our first attempt at cable TV that we had in the UK. Space 99 marked down from 2001. Where's Esther? I can't find her on chat. Well, I'm looking in the house, and she's normally, if she's not on chat, she's doing some. I can't see it in the house. I don't know where she is. Mrs. Wayne, are you in here? If you're not, I can misbehave tonight. Don't know. I don't know where she is. She's just had a takeout tonight, and she's had her hair cut today, so she's feeling pretty today. And you remember the last two, Pete? Oh, so they were over in Australia as well then. I didn't realise that. I think they're the three that I used to watch. Mystery Cities of Gold, Dogtanian, Willy Fogg, Ulysses, Battle of the Planets, Jason the Wheel Warriors, Hong Kong Phooey. The Danger Mouse. You believe the scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where Indiana Jones shoots the sword guy wasn't scripted? Yeah, I think they scripted a whole scene for that, Jamesy boy, from the making of it, but they couldn't do it because Harrison Ford wasn't well at all, apparently. Hello, Rick. How's it going? Live action Count Duckula. See, I never used to watch Count Duckula. Before I knew what Count Duckula was, I just thought it was Daffy Duck dressed up. I didn't know it was his own character. Now, a Thundercats live action, that'd be cool. See, Thundercats was a little bit later for me, so I was more into Turtles than I was Thundercats. You got no idea what we're going on about. It was a big deal for us growing up in the 80s in the UK, because all we had like 3 TV channels. We had BBC One, BBC Two and ITV, and then they gave us Channel 4, and at that sort of time we had this cable channel called Sky come on, which showed like first-rate movies and stuff. It was great. But I think by that time you Americans had already had 100 channels on your systems. But I mean, I do love American TV. I don't know if I told you my story at Florida. In Florida, you've got you can either watch the news and watch the tornado warnings, which I thought was quite exhilarating, until I realised they're saying like there's a tornado warning in Orange County, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, we're in Orange County, that's not good. But there was some guy there who was he was an Oriental looking guy, and he was selling white goods, washing machines, fridges, appliance direct or something like that, I don't know. And he had this like infomercial which went on all day, and I was captivated watching him. And as a matter of fact, you can actually find it on YouTube. I don't know what the guy was called, but I don't even know if he's still doing it today. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Appliances, Florida. Let's have a look. No, I can't find him. Someone must know what I'm on about. He's always advertising washing machines and stuff. I think, Appliance Direct. It was Appliance Direct. It was this guy here. Hang on. Stand by. I've got to watch an advert. Seriously, 2 weeks in Florida. There could have been Disney World, but no. I wanted to watch this guy right here. Look. He was brilliant. And that's when I realised, that's when I fell in love with American TV. Perfect. A Gouda cheese. To be eaten, Cophelia must be chained up at all times in the fridge. Faith is just obsessed with cheese, although she won't eat any of the blue cheese. So there you go, Faith. And she likes What's-Its. I don't know how cheese-related that is. But there you go. Live-action version of Jason the World Warriors, Mask. Mask was one that I believe was in development at one time. I'd like to see Mask. That could be all cool. Live-action Thunderbirds was rubbish. I can't remember that. When was that come out? Bill Paxton was in it. Ben Kingsley was the Hood. 2004. Yeah, I missed that completely. They need Mask just for the mass Bruce flavour working overtime. Just for the theme tune. I'd watch the theme tune and that'd be it. I'd be happy and I could leave the cinema. What about Mr. Ben? See, Mr. Ben's like late 70s, isn't it? Early 80s. Round about that time, I was watching Let's Pretend, Mooncat and Co., Rainbow, Puddle Lane. A bit off topic, as it's not a cartoon, but I love the Wind in the Willows TV series. Live action TV series or cartoon, Just? I think I remember both of those. You'd love to do Battle of the Planets live action movie. I wouldn't be surprised if they revisit some of these old retro things, you know, Adrian. Dog Tannen, yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, yes. Others I'm lost. A live action Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, that would need to be restricted. That would need an R rating. You can't just make a family movie of Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. For it to do well, like these, like the Winnie the Pooh horror and the Banana Splits horror and stuff. It has to be really dark, I think. The Batman figurine on the internet from issue 4 and onwards. Is that the one that they're building? I thought that's only in trial at the moment. Up to issue 4, Aaron. That and the U-boat. I haven't seen that in full release anywhere, even in France at the moment. Tons of Acme explosions. I'm surprised that hasn't been bought out. You know how well pop figures do? That you have Acme range of different things you can have around your studio just with Acme on them. That'd be cool. It was a bit of a banger. I just sang it to you, Svi. I'm available for weddings, bar mitzvahs. That was it wasn't BEB, B Sky B, it was BSB. I used to sell it for Dixon's BSB. No, Sky came out in 1984, Paul. Trust me. Guaranteed. And back then it was just Sky Channel. It didn't have Sky News or anything. It was just one channel. Sky TV 1984. Let's have a look. Actually, yeah. So you got the indent from 1984, which looked a little bit like this. I love indents. You remember the Thames TV indent? This looks like this. Let me forward. This was the old Sky logo back in the day. Maps. There you go. See? Looks like that. All good. God, retro night tonight. But yeah, BSB, I used to have to sell it with Dixon's, and then when Sky took over and they dropped, because BSB didn't have the satellites either. They had sort of like a diamond-shaped satellite. You just remember Once Upon a Time. That was like a series, wasn't it? With the guy from Trainspotting, Robert Carlyle. Can't tell you any more about it. I used to watch Buffy and Angel. That was it. Any Joss Whedon stuff back in the day was me, and Firefly. Hello, Jeffrey. How's it going? We were just talking about you. Parcels on the way. Not much to do. I didn't think there was, but I do like the idea of that cowl. So I am looking forward to seeing that. She's buried under a pile of notebooks. Has she been in here? Let me grab her and see what's going on. Alexa, drop in lounge.
Okay, dropping in.
Hello? Hello? No? Oh, Alexa, stop. Mrs. World Wayne just popped up in chat there. There you go. So she is in it. She's obviously preoccupied. You know, I'm far too unimportant for Mrs. World Wayne. It's called Goober Peddy, but it's easier to call it Cooper Peddy. What? Oh, here we go. Hello.
Hello, I'm upstairs.
Everyone was missing you because they hadn't heard from you.
I've been playing.
Because like we were insulting you and you didn't rise to it, so.
I'm just so used to it now.
Oh, okay. Alexa, close. Alexa, stop. This is where I get locked out for the night and I end up having to stay in the workshop. You live in in my house on a very beautiful island called Aero. Aero, what has like the chocolate bar with the bubbles in it. I do remember the Moobins, and there's a Moomin doll's house you can build at the moment, Adrian. A lot of people wanted Mrs. World Wayne to build it, but I mean, she still hasn't finished her doll's house yet, which is like 2 years knee deep in. I'm sure she'll finish it soon. The original G-Force in Japan was called, hope I can pronounce this, Gatchaman. It was so much better than the Hanna-Barbera version. They cut deaths in the fight scenes. That's why the robot doc is it. Ah, okay. I do remember that. They all sounded like birds and looked like birds, didn't they? That was BSB, not Sky. No, but BSB joined with Sky, Paul. The Sky actually, BSB stood for British Sky Broadcasting. That's eventually when they took over. Hong Kong Fooey, yes. Danger Mouse is as old as me. Secret Squirrel and Touche Turtle with Dum Dum. Do you remember them? These are models that need to be built. Phil over on Sprueverse is building obviously the Flintstones. You need a Touche Turtle and a Hong Kong Fooey definitely as well. And perhaps even a trapdoor, yeah. Take care, Lou. See you later, mate. Have a nice dinner. Chitara was your first crush. Oh, hi, Phil. We're just talking about you, Phil. We're saying what other cartoon things we can have models of. Obviously, you got your Flintstones on the go. We're saying Touche Turtle and Hong Kong Fooey. Super Gran. Stand back, Superman, Iceman, Spider-Man. No, don't remember that at all, Chris. Live-action remakes of anime can be terrible. Look at Ghost in the Shell. Cowboy Bebop, I watched the first episode, didn't like that at all. Ghost in the Shell, I haven't seen at all. I do remember watching a live-action. I think Eric Roberts was in it. Let me double-check. A Fist of the North Star. Was it Eric Roberts? Let me have a look. No, I don't think it was. Who was in the live-action Fist of the North Star? Do you remember that round about when Akira came out and stuff? God, perhaps I dreamt it. There was definitely a film. Live action. 1995. Gary Daniels and Malcolm McDowell and Chris Penn. There we go. That's who was in it. Fist of the North Star. God, I remember that. Dungeons and Dragons, that would be great. But then, do you remember they made a Dungeons and Dragons movie with Richard O'Brien? I remember seeing that in a cinema up in Gateshead, Newcastle way. Oh, it was so bad. Me and my friend Russell, you've met Russell. He's been in the workshop with me. Cracked up laughing. It was brilliant. Just trying to see who else was in it. Richard O'Brien. So Richard O'Brien from Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was god-awful film, I'm telling you. Came out in 2000. And it starred Justin Whalin. Jeremy Irons was in it. Wow. Marlon Wayans. Thora Birch. That was a great film. Remember BSB had all the Universal Paramount movies. It didn't last long. It's one Rent-A-Ghost. Rent-A-Ghost was 80s as well. That was good. Mr. Claypole died quite young though, didn't he? I can't remember the Timothy, I can't remember his name. Johnny Quest, never heard of it. What's Johnny Quest? Johnny Quest. Oh, hang on. No, I'm thinking of Johnny Bravo. Don't know who Johnny Quest is. I know who Sport Billy is. Oh, then BSB launched with a square dish. So what did BSB have prior to that? BSB. Let's have a look. Satellite. British Sky Broadcasting was a television company up to 1990. They came around in 1986. BSB were founded. British Satellite Broadcasting. That's what it originally stood for. Then Sky took over and it changed to British Sky Broadcasting. But that was from 86. Sky's been around since 84. Matter of fact, in Swindon, Sky actually appeared in 83. So, it certainly goes back a long way. I watched far too much TV as a kid. I'm one of those, you ever seen Jim Carrey's The Cable Guy? That was me. My babysitter was the TV, so I'd be sitting there with Sesame Street. So Grover and Cookie Monster, Mr. Snuffleupagus and Big Bird were teaching me everything. Those square dishes were very weird though. I wonder if you can get anything for those now, like as a retro thing, you know? I don't know. A live action Beavis and Butthead. Welcome to the channel, Howard Colkerman. Look at that, I didn't realise that's working. So if you subscribe on Twitch or YouTube, if you haven't subscribed already, your name appears there. With sound, but I don't know if you get to hear that sound. Fraggle Walk. Just William with a young Bonnie Langford. Don't remember that. Bonnie Langford was in Bugsy Malone, if you remember, with Jodie Foster and Scott Baio. With Mark Curry as well from Blue Peter fame. You have no idea what's going on. We're talking about TV shows that you would have watched if you were our age, Faith, back when Dad was a kid. Cockleshell Bay. Oh, bless my barnacles. See, I wonder, I mean, let's think, 70s, 80s, 90s, this is all 80s stuff. So unless I reckon if you were in the UK in the 80s, a lot of this is going to be lost on some of you folks, I'm guessing. Cheese flavoured. It was Diamond Cable and then there was BSB, but didn't last long. Diamond Cable. Don't remember that either. See, back in our day, we had Rediffusion. That was our cable operator in Essex. And then before Sky came around, we had a movie channel called Premiere. But the I in Premiere was the number one. And they just showed solid movies. And we used to get a film brochure. You know, like you get your programme in cinemas still. You used to get one of them through the door. And then that changed for us to Sky Channel, the one I just showed you there from 1984. Then I think in 86, that's when we got Sky News and Sky One, I think. Something like that. It was a long time ago. Do you ever asked about the Hachette? Asked? That's a funny word. If you ever asked about the Hachette U96 here in Germany, it's now running as a full build. Wow. There you go. So the U96 is available now. But the Batman's definitely still a trial, I believe. How can Dad know? Are you guys still talking about cheese? Johnny Morris. Animal Magic, Chris. With Terry Nutkins. Do you remember that? He had his finger bitten off by Gemini, his pet sea lion. See? My memory's pretty good when it comes to that era. I do remember Animal Magic. Isn't Mr. Ben the same as Quantum Leap? Pretty much. Although he could just put on clothes and go in a changing room and just like teleport to whatever land he was in. You know, he dresses up as a spaceman and is in space. I don't quite know how breathing works there, but... Yes! The Three Musketeers inside the Banana... See, the Banana Splits had cartoons inside them as well. Didn't they have a pirate-themed thing as well? I'm sure they did. Banana Splits was really far out. But no, I remember that. All of that. See, in this country, we had Fun Factory, as someone already mentioned, and Banana Splits was one of the shorts shows that they had in that. And obviously in that, you had cartoons as well. And it was with Fun Factory on Sky that we first got to see Jason the World Warriors. And that was also on another show on Sky when it first started called the DJ Cat Show. Does anyone remember that? If you're in Australia, you would have still been watching Humphrey B. Bear and Fat Cat. That's what I was brought up with up to in 1978. And like in Australia as well, you see, I was brought up on Hungry Jack's, not realising Hungry Jack's is like a spin-off of our Burger King. They're the same company. I didn't know that. Live action Top Cat. The Space Sentinels. Why do I remember that? Was it Space Ghost? I can't remember. We couldn't call our character Top Cat in the UK. It had to be called Boss Cat because we had a brand of cat food called Top Cat. And I'm sure that was a reason why they couldn't name the show Top Cat. Hello, William. Congratulations. I hope everything's being arranged for you, for your ship. Definitely want to see pictures when that comes. That Blackbeard's... Oh, it's going to look amazing. Plug it in. Get the lights on. Got to have a picture of it. It's going to look amazing. But... just don't be intimidated when you see the size, because as I said, it comes in a great big pallet and you're going to have to break that apart to get the thing out. I had to do the same with the Titanic, but it's like opening an egg, I'm telling you. you got to crack it open to get to the good stuff inside. Don't remember Hector's House. That's before my time. Parsley the Lion. That one's going to have to be a... I think I remember it, but... Parsley the Lion. No. That was 19... That's way before my time. I wasn't even born when that started. I was born in 73, David. What do moderators do? They check that people are behaving themselves, Faith, and that they're not talking too much about cheese. Oh, bless. Mary Mungo and Midge. See, that's another one that I've heard of, but I've never seen. And I'm sure it's because my parents have told me about it. So Mary Mungo and Midge. That was 1969 as well. So your era's like 5 years behind mine. Wait, there's a live action movie based on the idea of Roadrunner. It's called Cactus Jack. I've heard of Cactus Jack. Starring Kirk Douglas and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought that didn't have that Bruno Kirby in it. What am I thinking of? Cactus Jack film. Kirk Douglas, Schwarzenegger, Ray Bickle. No, I'm thinking of something completely different. 1970. No, don't know. That's called The Villain over here, just so you know. Sky Channel became Sky One and Eurosport was a new channel. Oh my God, look, I'm behind on chat. I'm sorry. Name the guy in charge of the Trumpton Fire Brigade. Oh, God. I can't remember. I can't remember how it starts. They were called Pew, Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grubb. I had to search that. See, Trumpton was slightly before my time as well, because we had Camberwick Green. So I hadn't seen Trumpton, but I do remember the start of it. Ship being shipped. The ship's being shipped. You should get it Wednesday. Oh, wow. The guy who delivers it, William, if you're in, is a really nice guy. The dubbed Hungarian children's TV show, Belle and Sebastian. Oh, I don't remember Belle and Sebastian. Let me look at that one. It's a 1965 TV series. Although, do you remember Heidi in the 80s? That was dubbed as well. 1978, Heidi the TV series. I enjoyed that. I'm just seeing if there's anyone that I can recognise in it. I don't recognise anybody. None of my contacts has given you permission to do that. Permission to do what, Svi? You remember the cartoon TV series of Ghostbusters with an ape driving a talking time-travelling car? Really? It was in the shape of a 50p. I remember it being diamond-shaped. PSB satellite. I said we had to sell them in Sky. Look, this is what they look like. Where are we? Look, there. They were like a diamond-shaped. Don't see them anymore at all. Live action Garbage Pail Kids. I didn't know that was a thing. I used to collect the cards, but I didn't know they had like little shorts of the Garbage Pail Kids. But I mean, I was the generation that was brought up with the actual Cabbage Patch Kids, you know, where people are getting adoption certificates and then selling their right kidneys to get them. I remember that was like the first time you used to see. I mean, Turtles was crazy, but seeing people at Christmas time going into supermarkets and killing each other to try and get hold of these blooming Cabbage Patch Kids was crazy. Wacky Racers. Wacky Racers was my first step into gambling because we always used to have bets on who's going to win. And I think you've heard before, number 9, the professor in his little chopper thing that kept converting into something else. He was my, that was where my money always went. Did Dick Dastardly ever win? Just out of curiosity. Who's watched enough Wacky Racers? He must have won one at least. Hey, help! Hello, Michael Ryder. How's it going? Finally made another live stream. Woohoo! You know, Michael, every time I see your name, it does bring a smile to my face because I know you're not the Michael Ryder that I went to school with, but it's nice to be reminded that. See, one of my friends at school was called Michael Ryder. And Heidi Combustible Reacts. Wow, that's a good name. They should make a movie of the UK cartoon of Banana Man. If they're going to do Banana Man, they need to do Super Ted as well. You remember Fist of the North Star live action? Is that where we are? God, we're 12 minutes behind. I'm sorry. Hello, Datehole. Datehole, I'm going to level with you, okay? In Pokemon, I needed some Pokemon which I had no chance of getting. So I was a little tiny bit naughty. And I've been banned for 7 days. But I got the Pokemon that I wanted to get. So it's a win-win. And I've got 2 days left of my ban. And then I can go back on the game again. Because I've been very naughty. Hello, Thomas. How's it going? Eddie, Batfink and Karate. Batfink had like shields of wings of steel. Flash Gordon, the cartoon. You know, back in was it DJ Cat? They used to have the serial Rocket Man. Do you remember the black and white Rocket Man? Where they'd have a cliffhanger at the end, like he's in a car, he's trapped in the car goes off the cliff and you see him plummet to his death. And then in the next episode, he's still in the car, but just before he plummets off, he manages to escape, but you never saw that in the previous episode. Used to drive me nuts. Joe 90. Now, Phil, Spruverse, haven't you got something from Joe 90 you're about to build? Or did I dream it? I'm sure you have. Ready Fusion was an early form of cable TV. It was. We had our base in Christopher Martin. It was Christopher Martin. No, it wasn't. What's it called? Burt Mills Road in Basildon. They're still there, you know, but they're not Ready Fusion. Obviously, the cable company that operates it now. I don't know who's operating that round Basildon now. It's probably Virgin Media. I don't think it's Sky there now. BSB had a squarial. I like that. It's a squarial. Did you see the original Metal Mickey was saved from the scrap heap? Really? That was a great show. Who would throw things like that away? You know, back in the day when there was no need to store props because why would you want to keep things that are just taking up room? I wonder if that mentality has now changed into movies of nowadays, that they don't destroy half as much as they used to back then because they know that the fan base would have a worth for it. So you wouldn't have to worry about storage space because it's going to be sold on through auction or something to someone. And that's another income stream for film studios, I guess. I wonder, is that the case? Do you remember the new Shmoo? A little white ghost thing that was a shapeshifter? Yes. I don't know why I remember it. But I also remember the two reiterations of the Pink Panther. You had the Pink Panther, and then the other show in the middle was an aardvark, which was chasing a dragonfly. Do you remember that? And then you had the all new Pink Panther show, which had a crazy leg, a crane. I'm sure it was a yellow crane. Or did I dream that as well? There was two kinds of Pink Panther with a different cartoon in the middle. What about World Away, the animated series? Vince, Vince still in Australia. He can make that. I think it's great that Vince has been on the channel ever since I first joined the channel, and his artwork of me sitting there tinkering around with R2D2 has been here through the entire journey of the World of Wayne channel. I think that's great. Terrorhawks. Zelda scared me, Richard. Zelda scared me big time. I wonder if Cookie Monster ever got out of rehab for his cookie addiction. Yeah, they never talked about his cookie addiction. It's only through talking could he be able to solve those problems. Have you watched The Last of Us? Episode 3, I'm telling you, I was moved by it, Data. I couldn't believe. I didn't understand. I say I've never played the game, so this is all new to me. I don't know what happens or anything. And I understand this was sort of like a filler episode, so this wasn't part of the game. But wow, what a story. What an absolute brilliant story. Oh, Interstellar Modder's been in Johnny Quest. I will check that out. You remember Grange Hill? Well, funny you should say that, Thomas, that I've been having a rewatch of Grange Hill on BritBox. They're up to series 14 now, and they've just gone to the Isle of Wight. That's the one I've watched. But next week, the Grange Hill cast are having a 45-year reunion, which you can go to if you wanted to. Meet some of the stars from Grange Hill. I'm full of useless knowledge, aren't I? Again, when Sky TV first came out, Roy, Outsider, we had I Dream a Genie, Bewitched, Lost in Space, Time Tunnel, Land of the Giants. All of those were part of the initial lineup of Sky TV when it first came out. That's how I know about those old shows. Otherwise, that would have been before my time as well. But they were great. I love them. Ulysses movie would rule. I think that's why people are trying to get the bandwagon moving for it. Not quite sure about Chris Hemsworth playing Ulysses, but BSB's big selling point was the size of the dish. As Sky was a huge circular dish, it was, and a lot of council properties and stuff wouldn't let the Sky satellite dishes be put on the side. See, originally BSB was still around when I worked for Dixon's, and they were issues that we had to check before we could sell customers that product. That was a long time ago. Wow. Do you remember what Doomwatch? No, don't remember Doomwatch. Hello, Dr. Han. The day they installed cable, as soon as the technician left the house, I hacked into the decoder circuit to watch Star Trek 2. Led to your life of crime. Oh, dear. Oh, thank you, Michael. For Enterprise build parts and needs, Michael, I'm so glad. Thank you for the donation there. You just triggered me, Ian. If you're watching, I've got something that you should make, and I'm going to talk to you about it afterwards for the refit, which is easy to do, but you can't get it in this country at all. So it's sort of like a missed opportunity there, and I'll talk to you about that later. You'll love it. You absolutely love it. But thank you for that, Michael. I hope you're enjoying those. I'm really enjoying building the refit, I have to say. It's whether it works or not. I mean, the lights work today, which is good, but I've got to put the walls on now, and I understand that's a really difficult thing to do. I think who was I talking to? Is it Paul? Paul Ryder, was it you saying that putting those walls on takes a long time to get them, make sure they're lined up and there's no steps? I can understand that's going to be a pain, so I'm going to make sure I've got good light, get me magnifying glasses on here, which I've got here. And I'll take my time on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pin them, because I've kept the supports with super glue. And then because I've got no paint at all on the surfaces, I will be using my extra thin cement to put in there. Should bond those surfaces together, hopefully. We'll have to see what happens there. Take care, Faith. See you later. And see you later, Hector. Bonanza. Oh, I remember Bonanza. Land of the Lost, Space Academy. Land of the Lost, I think that's one of the themes for Wonderfest this year, Roy. Space Academy, Jason of Star Command, Arc 2, Shazam, Secret of... I don't know any of them apart from Land of the Lost. Wow. Now, Wayne has me to entertain him, so he rarely watches... I don't really watch much TV at all now. He especially doesn't watch TV when we're on holiday. No, apart from Appliance Direct in Florida. Daktari. Why do I know that? Was that about a lion? Daktari. It was, wasn't it? It was a bit like Born Free. I do remember Daktari. Hello, Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Yeah, but Top Cat in the UK was called Top Cat, but the theme tune was Boss Cat. Don't you remember? Boss Cat? Because Top Cat was a brand of cat food. They didn't want their product used on a cartoon. But didn't they make some sort of like, I don't know, animated Top Cat? I'm sure they did film. Quite recently, wasn't it? Yeah, they did. I don't know when. Top Cat Begins. There we go. 2015. See? This is where you can get your pool of good stuff from. 70s and 80s. We're the cheese police. I think Faith's gone there. You don't have to talk about cheese. Flocking's not banned. It's funny. Every time Lou starts flocking, he knows that I like to flock everything. Oh, bless. You've been watching my old DeLorean videos. Are you building it again? You know what? I'd love to build it again, John. And I'll be honest with you, completely transparent. Fan Home have approached me and asked if I want to build the DeLorean again. And I've said yes, but I haven't heard anything back from them. And I do understand that a lot of these builds are now moving to April. Is that correct? Something about warehouse problems, or, you know, they can't figure out where all the stock is at the moment. So it's taking longer than they expected. So some of the things have been delayed. But anyone from Fan Home watching this, I'd love to build it for you. And now I've got loads of new cameras. I think we could do a good job on that. Mods, check the code. Thank you, Ollie Monopoly. See, Faith's my daughter, so she doesn't really understand some of this, but I think she's in bed now, bless her. Grot Bags. Grot Bags was the with what's his name? The Birdman. Rod Hull, an emu. I watch your Super Snake to help me out on mine. Super Snake's a great build. That was the first build we did with Agora models. The biggest satellite dish I had was 2 meters. Wow. Thousands of channels from Europe that were the good old days, free TV. You know what, Jeffrey? We've still got some people with ginormous satellite dishes here. I don't know what they're picking up. I remember people used to have satellite dishes that big because it used to pick up the Euro channels, the special Euro channels, which I can't mention on here because I'll get striked. So, but you know the channels I'm talking about. Monkey Magic. I love Monkey Magic. Chipitaka. Oh, bless. Fireball XL5. Now that is before my time. But again, it's the whole Jerry Anderson theme stuff, isn't it? Rhubarb and custard. The animation for that, Chris Weasley, interesting fact, really freaks Mrs. Weldawayne out. I don't know why. She doesn't like the animation for rhubarb and custard. BSB dishes were called square eels. They were called square eels. You've brought it all back to me. You're absolutely right. Ivor the engine. That's it. Max Carr from Joe 90. I knew you said you're doing something from Joe 90. We need to build the booth that spins. his what would they call that? Chamber of concentration or something. I can't remember. It's been so long since I saw that. RF DeVries, Skippy the Bush Kager. I was trying to pull some music for that for last week for Australia Day, but I couldn't find anything which was just the tune. But both Skippy and Flipper, they would have done well. Look, both of those comments side by side with each other. You still have a Cabbage Patch Kid. Oh my God. Just pulled it out of storage a month or so ago. I'm 39 now, so it's probably older than me. I bet that's probably worth something there, especially if it's still in the box and you've got the adoption. You remember it comes with an adoption certificate? Where's my super slate? All of my cars, apart from what you see here, are in the old man cave on shelves. I will get round to doing a thing in the old man cave so you can see all my models. At the moment, though, it's been completely overtaken by Mrs. Wilder Wayne, who's going on a frenzy at the moment, making her own clothes. So, she's doing a really good job. She created, so much so, she's created a brand where she's got a tagline in it called So Curvy, spelled S-E-W, as in sewing. That's her sort of like brand. So, but they're really nice clothes. But she's going to be making me my Wrath of Khan captain's uniform. She's actually bought some duvet material, just, you know, like you'd cover a duvet with, just to make a test mock-up to make sure all the sizes are right. So theoretically, I can use that as Captain Kirk's pyjamas, I guess, before I get the proper suit. Oh, bless. It's all good. I'm so far behind on chat. I'm sorry. Look, it's 43 and we've only got like 4 minutes left. I'm looking down Masters of the Universe. I have been enjoying the new Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe on Netflix, I have to say. That's good. Joseph, hopefully I've answered that question for you. Does anyone know why Superman had to say up, up and away in the animated series to take off? Who was it was saying that Superman's got no form of propulsion, so how does he actually move? Was it the cartoon that had that faster than a speeding bullet, able to jump tall buildings in a single jump? Look up, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Was that the cartoon that did that? But has anyone seen the release schedule for James Gunn for DC? That's very interesting. A lot of animated shows before it gets into it. Hello, Palpatine. How's Singapore at the moment? You worked at the GEC factory next door to Satellite Iron Ballot. Really? I know Cranes Farm Road very well. Cranes Farm Road's where my dad used to work at the... Whoa. Alex, how old are you? Because my dad worked at the GEC factory as well. No way. You might know my dad. If you worked there in the 80s and 90s, you will know my dad because he worked there. In K Building, he was in. That's a small world, isn't it? Wow. Chorton on the Wheelies. All I remember, it had a brilliant theme tune. It's been quite a while, my apprentice. Oh, Wayne, you got banned. Only for 7 days. But I did, you know what, Datehole, I did leave it for 2 hours. I left the call down. I didn't go anywhere near you. But I do think that a certain program has been clocked, so I can't use that program anymore. I've taken it off. But I got what I wanted. There was region-specific Pokemon I wanted. I've got them. So after a short, sharp trip to Hawaii, New Zealand, the Dominican Republic, and France, I've got what I want. Wait, Virgin Media has most of the UK tied up. Yeah, I believe they can't build any more cable now because Virgin have the monopoly on that. Is that right? What Pokemon did I need? Some keychain thing from France, some lei thing from Hawaii, the big fish thing, beginning with an R, from New Zealand. I've got them all now, by the way. Chatot, Relicanth was the fish thing. So some of the flowers, a blue flower and a yellow flower. I think that's it. There was quite a few regional specific ones that I needed. Crazy Legs Crane, it was that in the Pink Panther. Is that where we're up to? Oh my God, listen, people, I am so sorry that I've fallen behind tonight, and probably more than I ever have before. I've just lost myself getting involved in all of this reminiscing about retro things. I do like these streams when we talk about that, though. It is a blast down memory lane. But, yeah, I apologise for that. I'm just whizzing through now. Jigsaw with Nosy Bonk and Janet Ellis, wasn't it? See, I still remember the theme tune to it. Clarence the Lion with a cross-eyed. I remember that. But what's the story about the Lion King being a rip-off of a cartoon called Kimber or something? It's the same story? Critical to use epoxy on the saucer walls, not thin cement. Ah, right, okay. You need serious structural support there, trust me. Okay. I have got epoxy. And I think you've just... I'm glad I haven't even started it yet, Phil. So I will be taking my time and see how we go with that. I did keep all the supports in there. So I'm not... Well, we'll see how it goes. You got your shipping notification as well. We'll be building it together, Michael. I can't wait to build the this workstation. It looks brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Epoxy glue. I've got epoxy glue as well. I've got that here as well. So if we need that, then I will use that. The problem with epoxy glue, it doesn't dry quickly, does it? So you need to set it up, which I suppose is what you need to be able to, you know, move it around and then just leave it and take time over it. I think that is the way to go. Phil and Paul, yes, I'm with you on that one, definitely. Hello, Alex. How's it going on Facebook there? You're from Holland and ordered DeLorean in Germany. It will be censor into a company in Germany. Factory will censor it in Holland. I don't know what that means, Alex. Oh, send. Right, okay. That's good. It's 9 o'clock and I really am trying to get through the chat. I'm so sorry. I'm going to tell Mrs. Welderwayne to keep nudging me with a cane or something, you know, just off camera. You'll just see this cane nudging me to tell me that I need to jump forward. He jumps, not flies. Oh, is it a jump? But he stays in the air for quite some time. So is it like controlled falling when he comes back down then? Oh, it's all cool. Listen, this has been fun tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to be building the fire truck. As I said, I've got it all down on the floor here. It's going to be a quick video, but it's going to look pretty good when it's done. So that's good to see. It was fun reminiscing tonight. I'm so sorry I didn't get through all the chat. I will catch up with the chat after the stream once it's caught up. But wow, this has been one of those nights where I've drank 2 Pepsis tonight. Because I can't help reminiscing, but it's all fun. But listen, thank you all for joining me. I will see you next week after, obviously, tomorrow's stream. Next Tuesday, I'm not sure what we're building, because obviously we finished that diesel engine. So on the Patreon stream, we're going to be building a Gundam model. So we'll have to see what comes. Probably going to be doing... Well, we could do the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger, couldn't we? That could be interesting. Anyway, listen, take care, everyone, and I'll see you later.